This is Nan McKay, and I would like to introduce you today to Caterina Rando. She is a sought-after speaker. She's also a best-selling author. She's a podcaster. She is a magazine publisher and a philanthropist, and really many, many more things as you're going to find out. She shows women how to thrive in business, how to recognize their leadership abilities, and how to be loud and proud about the value that they bring. Caterina's own entrepreneurial spirit, I think, draws listeners to her and inspires them to believe in their own ability to accelerate business growth and achieve rapid fire success. So welcome, Caterina.
Thank you, Nan. I'm so happy to be with you.
Caterina, you have so much going on that it's really hard to find a place to start. But let's start at, let's say, a high level with your credentials, because you certainly have those. In addition to having a master's in life transitions, I didn't even know there was such a thing, and that's fabulous. You are a master certified coach, and that is the highest designation awarded by the International Coaching Federation. And you started really early, quite a long time ago. And I say that because it seems like today, many people are going into some aspect of coaching, whether it's business or it's lifestyle or it's mindset. And I'm kind of wondering if you can tell us, why is it important to hire a coach with credentials?
Sure. And let me make a distinction too. I have achieved the designation of Master Certified Coach. I've been doing this for 29 years. So at this point, I don't renew it every year because I got there and I stayed there. And now I'm a little bit more relaxed about the whole thing. But here's what I want to say. The challenge with picking a coach and credentials is that coaching is not a regulated industry like real estate or insurance. And so that does mean that any Mary Jane or Sheila, Tom, Dick, or Harry can say that they're a coach. And really, there's legally nothing wrong with that. What you want to do, though, is you want to pick a coach that's going to do a great job for you. So even though there's legally nothing wrong with it, it's probably not good business practice or good practice for us to pick someone who's not educated and certified and frankly experienced. But how do we do that? Well, the first thing is to create your criteria for the kind of coach you want to work with. And, a big thing, Nan, that I teach is that you want to pick a coach who has the same values as you, because we all teach from our values. We all mentor, we all live our lives based on our values. So my highest value is integrity. Of course, I also value community and communication and generosity and love. And I like to wear my heart all over my business. So if that is somebody who's like that, they're going to be a good match for me. But if somebody is most concerned with making a lot of money, and believe me, I like to massively monetize just like the next guy, but my priority is integrity and community and kindness and love. So you want to pick coaches that have the same values as you, because otherwise it is a disconnect. And then often people say to me many times over the years, I hired this coach and it just, whatever they told me, it just didn't work. Well, it didn't work because they were telling you what worked for them, but not what will work for you based on your values. And my friend, this is a whole topic. We could talk about this whole topic all day, but I know we got more to discuss.
Yeah, but that is an interesting perspective. And it's interesting because I would have said that my top value is integrity as well. So
see, that's why one of the reasons we vibe. Yay.
Yeah. Now, your tagline is serving businesswomen with a mission. So tell us a little bit about that.
Serving businesswomen on a mission. Well, the thing is that many women start their businesses because they want to be of service. for whatever reason, they want to, last night, I was at a lovely event with one of my clients. She was hosting some gals for dinner, and there was a lovely gal there who's just started her life coaching business, and she wants to help youth. And she wants to help youth because she was adopted, and she sees that, she got a great family, and a lot of kids are stuck in foster care. And so it's weighing on her heart to make a huge difference with her business. And I'm sharing that with you because that's why most women start businesses, because there's something that they want to be of service. And those are the women that I want to work with, that they feel that their business is their mission or their ministry. If they're a faith-based person, those ladies are going to be in action. They're going to be determined, and they're doing it not just for the money. We like the money. We also are doing it because we want to make a difference.
More of a lifestyle business, in a sense, that rather than totally focused on profit.
Yes. Well, the lifestyle would be that you want to do good through your business. Like I'm not yet a B Corp, but that is on my list of things to do, which is planet, profit, and people. And yes, you want, and I totally concur with B Corp values, but that doesn't mean that you can't build a big, profitable, and sustainable business if that's what you want to do. But you do want to make sure that your entrepreneurial lifestyle works for your whole life.
Now, you focus on helping women really catapult their revenue using public speaking to gain what you call Insta clients. I love that term. And adding events or retreats as part of their marketing and income mix. I just think that's really interesting. Tell us about that.
Well, first, let me say that the reason why public speaking is such a great thing to do to grow your business is because you get to build Insta influence. You get to build visibility. People see you when you're the speaker. You get to bring your massive value through your talk. And the third part of the influence equation, visibility, value, is consistency. So if you're speaking consistently, or you're consistently getting in front of people and then they're getting on your list and you're building more influence, it's a way to have a plethora of clients on an ongoing basis. It is a great rinse and repeat strategy. And that's why it works, because you get to showcase your massive value, which you don't get to do when you're networking. You get to meet people, but you don't get to tell them all about how you can serve them, which is what you do when you speak. I don't mean a sales presentation, but you have a value add, and then you have a little sales at the end, inviting people to connect with you. And events work for the same reason. Because here's another guiding principle. The more time people spend with us, the more they're open to investing with us, because we've built influence. So even I was saying, I went to this event last night, ran into gals I haven't seen in quite a while, ran into potential clients I haven't talked to in a while. And what happens? You meet, you have a visit. Now they're more open to looking at working with me or with you or who are our listeners. So it's very important to recognize that engagement with people is a big part of what has them come and work with us. But if I may add one thing, it's important to be an audience-centric speaker and not a speaker-centric speaker. So what I mean by that is when you speak, you want to have all your attention on the audience, and you want them to feel seen and heard and gotten by you. And how do you do that? By getting really good at speaking and paying attention to when they do introductions, who in the room does what, using those people as examples, saying that, hey, Sheila, in your laundry business, this would be good for you. And hey, Bob, in your construction business, this would be good for you. So the more you can include the audience in your talk, the more they're going to feel connected to you.
That makes perfect sense. I'm also amazed at the ways that you facilitate what you're talking about, even including a cruise event.
Yes.
So I've been thinking about, I just came back from 2 cruises.
You did?
Yes.
How fun.
I I actually interviewed 7 officers on the cruise ship, including
That's
2 of the
great.
captains.
How
But
cool.
anyway, I kept thinking as I'm sailing, what can I do on a cruise ship? I would love to be able to be a speaker, for instance, or
Mhm.
something like that. And then I came across you and really started researching you and thought, wow, look at this. This is fascinating and something I could do on a cruise. What do you actually do on the cruise?
Okay, well, let me tell you something, Nan. Women traveling in groups is the biggest growth segment for cruises. I read this somewhere not too long ago. So I'm sharing that with you because women love to get together. Now, we can get together to shop, or we can get together to be significant, which is your area. So you could easily do a retreat on, you could call the retreat could be called significance. And then you have a subtitle, and it could be for women over 60 who are going to come and get more significant in their life. But not only are they going to come and get more significant through the programming that you're going to have, they're going to come and get more significant by having support, by visiting, by connecting. And when we get out of our regular environment, our regular day-to-day, and we go to someplace beautiful, that is when transformation happens. Now, let's just remind everybody, what is transformation? Transformation is when we see ourselves differently. Also, healing creates transformation. And that happens when we're in a group of like-minded, like-hearted people, and we are witnessed and we're accepted. That's something else you can do on a cruise ship.
That's really interesting. I noticed that you take your cruises mostly right out of San Francisco and do that down to Ensenada and back again, which is a nice length of cruise. I've taken at least, I think, out of San Diego or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're doing 10 days Mexican Riviera. We've done California cruise. Next year, I'm going to do Pacific Northwest. The reason I do that is because I live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And because Princess Cruises runs out of San Francisco, which is the cruise line that I use. I also am a big fan of Celebrity Cruises, but they don't run out of San Francisco. And that's because I want to use a more luxury brand for the ladies that I invite. And here's a super tip, Nan. We're gonna get you going, my friend. You tell me when you want to do it. Okay. Invite me. I'd love to come talk to the ladies on your ship. Here's the thing. There is the cruise, but the cruise is part of a bigger program. For example, in January, we're going on our 10-day bliss retreat for women leaders on a mission. This whole year, every month, we have been doing virtual retreats. Every month for 90 minutes, we're doing a virtual retreat. They get a bliss box in the mail with some activity or some fun item. For example, I gave them heart mirrors, and we did a heart mirror meditation at the beginning of the year, and look in the mirror and what do you want her to say at this time next year? And I'm sending the ladies watercolor kits on Monday, because they're going to draw their whole year, like a year in perspective. So, a year in review. So the idea here is during the year to take a little time out of your busy life to reflect, to review. And why am I telling you this? Because it's not just about the cruise. It's about the program, so that the cruise is included, because I'm going to give you right now, if I may, Nan, the ingredients for massive change: ongoing support, ongoing guidance, accountability, a structure that creates community and focus and momentum. So those are why group programs work. It's not education, of course, is one component, but it's not the only component. And the last thing I'm going to say, which I think is very important for those of us more mature, is encouragement. Just like a little kid appreciates a little encouragement, doesn't matter what age you are on the planet, you appreciate it. And that's why community and group programs and being with women that all want to lift you up is so important.
That sounds really good. And you are so creative in what you're doing to bring it all together. As you say, don't make the cruise just the only event that works into a bigger program.
Right. Right. And I also do I've done a cruise for speakers or speaker mastermind. And I also do a retreat for women on how to do a retreat. So they come and have a great retreat and they also learn how to do a retreat. So any reason to get the ladies together, I'm up for it.
It sounds great. I'm thinking, I'd like to come to one of those.
You're invited. You're invited.
Now, you're also an award-winning, top-rated professional speaker yourself, giving these sessions on how to speak, but you do it too.
Mhm.
And from what I've seen, you're known for your dynamic, warm,
Thank you.
uplifting,
Mhm.
and authentic, which to me is so important, being authentic,
Yes.
speaking style.
Yes.
You have several topics that you speak on, and I just wonder if, and I picked two, and
Okay.
I wondered if you could give us some highlights on these two topics.
Okay.
So
What's the first one?
the first one is amplifying your influence power.
Okay, so we talked about the influence equation a little bit. Here's another very exciting part of this that I want to shine the spotlight on. When we think of our value, we think of our education, our experience, our long client list, etc. The thing, especially for women, is that we have this whole huge cache of value that we often underutilize and overlook. And that is our heart skills, our kindness, our graciousness, our genuine caring, being a good listener. My favorite one is acknowledgement. And the reason why I like to talk about this is because many women grew up they started their career in an environment that said, put your head down, just do your work. Don't care too much about the clients. Don't get personally involved.
Mm-hmm.
And then some psychopath somewhere said, it's not personal, it's business. And that got coined into our culture, which is ridiculous, because if you're in business, if you're doing it right, you're serving people. And don't we genuinely care about the people we serve? So I invite people to amplify their heart skills. Don't just wear your heart on your sleeve, wear it all over your business. And that builds influence, because when we know somebody cares, we pay more attention. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I gave a speech a couple weeks ago. The lady who was running the meeting asked everybody ahead of time, how do other people build influence with you? You know what everybody said, Nan? Almost everybody. They make me feel seen. They make me feel heard. They make me feel like I have value. And that's what people, it's not just about how amazing you are, your credentials. It's about, I care about making a difference for you. That builds influence.
That's really, really fascinating. And it is so interesting, because when you started your business a long time ago, as I started one of my businesses in 1980, and it's almost like you had to act like a man, and you had to adopt all of the principles, mores, whatever you want to call it. And that definitely was one, is don't get too close to your clients, be more standoffish, be more professional, is how they couched it. But you're right, what you lose is the genuineness of being with the people.
Right.
And that's why you're doing what you're doing.
Right. Right. And let's not forget that modern business is based on a military model. And, they or then they came home and went to work. And we don't have to do it that way, Nan, especially when we have our own business. We can do it any way we want. We can, I have hearts all over my business. blow kisses to my clients. I tell them I love them because I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't invite them to be my client. I get to pick who I work with, right? And I only want to work with people I'm excited to work with, that I genuinely feel I can serve. And that's another important distinction, because your business is supposed to be your bliss. Now, maybe in 1980, people didn't think about that, but today, as women, especially women that are coming to their own business later in life, don't you want it to be your bliss? It's not supposed to be a yucky job that you go to every day. It's supposed to be something that has you uplifted to get started every day.
That you wake up in the morning and you've been dreaming about something that you wanted to implement. You jump out of bed and run to the computer. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's take your second one. How about gain Insta clients with speaking and workshops? And we've talked a little bit about this, but
yes. Okay, so I got a lifetime supply for you. So here it is. When the pandemic started, everybody's not sure what's going to happen. And I told my clients to right away start a Zoom thing. And your Zoom thing is every month you have a virtual workshop that you can invite people to. So that when you're networking, when you're meeting people, when you're getting referrals, you're not saying to people, hey, you want to be my client? You're saying, hey, come to my thing. And they're only going to come if they're genuinely interested, right? I met a lady the other day. She helps women of a certain age get through heartache. Nobody's going to go to her healing your heart workshop if they don't got a heart to heal, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Only the people that are a good match for you are going to want to come. So they're self-selecting. But what happens at that workshop? You build influence. They have an experience of you. They understand now more how you work with your clients. And you're going to gain Insta clients as a result of that. Of course, you have to know what to do before, during, and after to make sure that you do. You have to have time for follow-up and time to talk to people. And when you do this every month, you will have a system that supports you in having an ongoing flow of clients. This is what I do. 90% of my clients, and I think I mentioned I've been in business 29 years, 90% of my clients have always come from speaking. The rest is referrals or people I meet through networking. Now, I'm also a fan of social media, Nan. I love social media. I have a podcast, you know that, but you know what? The fastest path to cash, speaking.
Interesting. So, and you're doing these workshops monthly. Are you charging for those workshops?
Okay, great question. Now, I don't charge because if I never met somebody, or excuse me, I have no influence with them, I don't want to ask them for money. Now, we do larger events like we do our all-day Fempire event, and those we charge for because we send ladies crowns for Fempire and we send them capes for the Shiro Summit. But for my monthly 1 hour free thing, it's free because you're not my client yet. I don't need to ask you for money. And I'm not interested in the 27 or the 47. I'm interested in the sale that comes after that. And that's why, for me, it works very well. But some people charge for their thing. It's everyone's personal choice.
And are you choosing a different topic each month?
Great question. Nan, great question, because here's the answer. We talk about what matches what we're offering. So right now, I've got a couple workshops coming up on how to thrive with women's retreats. Why? Because I'm currently enrolling women for our next retreat leader program. Okay. Other times in the year, I'm teaching how to achieve sales bliss because I'm then inviting them to join our sales program that's starting very soon. Your topic matches whatever you're currently focused on selling or filling. Now you might say, well, Caterina, if I just gave that talk last month, I'm going to give that talk again. That's the beauty of virtual. There's a lifetime supply of people to serve.
Yeah, because you can reach the whole world.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned your podcast. Talk a little bit about your podcast.
Sure.
And then the other thing I'd like you to mention and talk a little bit about is that you've written several books. So give us some information on all.
Okay, yeah. Well, my podcast is called Expand Your Fempire with an F. I also have an app by the same title, Expand Your Fempire. You can download it for your phone. And this is all, both of these platforms are designed to support women in being themselves, doing their thing, serving their people, and also massively monetizing, being profitable. They're all very info-packed, a lot of education, but also some uplift. Because one of the things we don't talk about enough, Nan, is that, look, many of us are working from home, or even if you have a office you go to, but we need a boost. We need an infusion of vitality in our business. And that's what the workshops and the retreats and the podcast and the app, it's all designed to give you an infusion of uplift and encouragement along with some education.
I love it.
Yeah.
The
Now you
books,
asked-
tell us the name
okay.
of your books and
All right, I've got,
how you wrote them and why you
Sure.
wrote them. And
well, the thing is that I've actually co-authored many, many books because I used to publish books. And I found that when you're an author, it helps you get booked for more speaking.
Mhm.
And then I have a book from a major publisher, which is called Learn to Power Think, or published in paperback called Learn to Think Differently, which was published by Duncan Baird in Europe and many other countries and many languages throughout the world. And it's a book that's all about positivity, but taking action along with your positivity. So you're not just positive thinking, you're in action to create what you want for yourself and your life. And that was my first book I'm very proud of. And then I wrote a book about how to start a women's giving circle, because one of the things it's called Women's Guide to Starting a Giving Circle, because I want women to not wait until they're retired or whatever they perceive as older is before they embrace philanthropy. That we want to infuse philanthropy in our business from day one. And I started a giving circle with a friend of mine, CJ Hayden, who's the co-author of this book, because we went to lunch with a friend of ours and she invited us all to contribute $10 to give to a foundation to take a girl out of servitude and educate her for a year. Nan, I didn't even know what servitude was, but I knew I didn't like it. Okay. And we got home and I said, you know what, let's do this. Did I know how to start a giving circle? No. Did I know how to raise money? No. But but we raise tons of money. We've raised anywhere between $12,000 and $40,000 in a year for the last many years. And I say that because it's not about what do you know, it's about what are you willing to do. Don't wait until you're ready, act when you're willing. And I want women to act, to embrace philanthropy in their businesses and their communities. And this is a great way to get started with a giving circle. And let me make a important point here. Women often volunteer their time. And sometimes they volunteer so much time that it's to the detriment of their own life, their own self-care, and their own income. And what I'm encouraging women to do is, sure, volunteer some time, but write a check, give money. And you know what? Make more money so you can give more money. Money is not a bad thing. It is a source, a resource to create the life you want. And I don't feel that way, Nan. I'm sure you don't feel that way, that money's not a good thing, but a lot of gals still do. And let's get over that. And let's create financial resource for ourselves so that we can uplift our families and our communities. And we know, and the UN studies show that when women start to make money, girls stay in school longer, domestic violence goes down, the infant mortality rate improves. So let's build wealth for women everywhere. And philanthropy is a great way to do that.
Very interesting. Now, I'm sure our audience can start to see this dynamo that we are talking to has really pulled it all together. So I'm going to ask you an interesting question. I think, at least I would be interested in it.
Okay.
Of all the women that you've worked with,
Oh my gosh, there's
what do
many.
you feel has been one of your biggest accomplishments?
You know, one of the things that warms my heart the most, I was with two of my clients this morning that they have started their own communities. One of them was, before she met me, she was an accountant. Now she's an accountant who also has a community, who's also planning her first retreat, who has a membership, who's more of a business consultant. Another woman who's with me this morning, she was a life coach. She's still a life coach, but now she has a whole community. They have events. They have 5 gatherings a month. They do all kinds of things. And watching women who have stepped into our community create their own communities. Another one of my clients today is hosting a conference with 100 people, and her name is Shea. I've known Shea for a long time, and I remember when all of this was just a twinkle in her eye before she even had a business. So watching them not only thrive in their businesses, but through their businesses uplift and impact so many other lives, that warms my heart, Nan, more than anything.
It's a pay it forward.
Yeah. Well, definitely paying it forward. Definitely. I guess I don't know if I'm paying it forward. I'm definitely serving it forward. You know, I'm serving them and they're serving other people. And yes, it goes along with pay it forward too. Yes. Well, I love that because, you know, it is the idea that so here's why I believe we're here. Okay. I do believe we're here to uplift others, that we're here to help our fellow man and woman, and that my job is to be of service. Now, I have to make sure I take care of myself too. And sometimes, you know, especially as women, we're acculturated to serve everybody else and give ourselves the crumbs, you know. And so I talk about, for women in business, 5 pillars: speaking, selling, serving your clients, strategy, and self-care. And self-care is in there as a business pillar, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't help anybody else, right?
That's exactly right.
And women really, I want them to master self-care.
It is needed. You're absolutely right, because women tend to, as you say, take care of everybody else and put themselves last. And you have to be careful with that, as you have said, because there may not be anything left of you if you do it that way.
Right.
Now, a lot of our people who attend our interviews, you know, whether it's a podcast or whether it's YouTube, are over 60.
Yeah.
And what advice do you have for women who want to feel significant after 60?
Yeah. Well, the first advice I'm going to give them is to go to your significance retreat that you're putting together. All right, my friend. And by the way, you can start as a significant summit that leads to a significant group. Okay. That group program that includes the significant retreat. All right. There we go. We just mapped out your business plan.
There we go.
All right, here it is. And so here's the thing. As long as we're above ground, our job is, in my opinion, to be growing and to be serving. Now, the thing is, though, that we also want to make sure that we're blissing while we're doing it. So what would make you bliss? As I told you, bliss is me to serve the ladies and help them in business. For someone else, they might be blissing to be an interior decorator, or to make the cookies that their grandma made that they've been loving and wanting to do for a long time. Whatever your thing is, you know, a lot of times people start careers for practical reasons. They need to raise their kids. They want to have a good income. Well, maybe now you've built some financial stability. What sings to your heart? what is calling you, go do it, and do it in community. And that's what I want to say to women. Go and do it in community, because there's other people that have the same interest as you.
And you really live your life by positivity, integrity, as you said, is so important to you, generosity, you mentioned community, and providing massive value, but you're also uplifting other people. So it's a very well-rounded kind of value system in a way. Tell us about some of the groups and the communities and even the business center that you founded.
Well, you know, Nan, I got sick of giving so much of my money to the hotels for live and in-person trainings. This is pre-pandemic. Then I was like, I'm just going to open my own place. Okay. And it took me about 5 years from dream to the day we opened our doors. And it is a beautiful center in San Francisco. We have 40 chairs. We can have 40 people there, events, networking, workshops. That's, and it's there for any of my clients to use for any of their activities. Now, the thing that happened during the pandemic was now we have clients all over the country. So not so many of them are in the neighborhood to use the center, but it's still getting use and other women can rent it. So that's good. And then we do our retreat for speakers, because again, we got to get out of our own environment. So if I give you some speaking coaching and I say, go practice, most people don't go practice. But if I stick you at a retreat center for a week in a luxury setting, feed you, tell you this is what you're going to do for the rest of the afternoon and work on your speeches with another person, it happens. And that's why I love to do the speaker retreat, because I see women come in and they are transformed as speakers. A week later, they're more confident, they're more clear on what to do. We've pulled out stories and they're at a whole new level. I love our speaker retreat. And then, as I mentioned, you know, women love to get together, and I want to help other ladies do their own retreats, but I want them to be profitable. So that's why they come, and we teach them how to plan it, how to put together your budget, how to fill it, because it doesn't matter how great your retreat is if you can't get anybody to come.
True.
So what is the model? Like I mentioned, Nan, to you earlier, what's the model to fill a retreat? Because here's the other thing. Most people, not that it's not impossible, but most people are not going to go across the world to be with you when they haven't spent any time with you before that in your local area, or at least virtually. So what is the model for that? And the thing is that I'm all about treating everybody VIP. So when and you know what, Nan? Not everybody gets treated VIP everywhere in their life. And it's nice to come and be in a setting where you are treated with kindness, with love. You get a gift every day. You get a plush robe. The ladies are giving you acknowledgement all day long. It feels pretty good. And it facilitates more possibilities for women in their life. And that's what I want for women over 60, over 50, over 70. I have many clients in their 60s and 70s. And I don't know if I have any clients in their 80s. Maybe we'll have that very soon.
I may break your ceiling.
That's right, my friend. You can break my ceiling. And you know what's great about that too, is we all inspire each other. And as you know, I went through a challenging divorce. When I meet other women, and they're going through a challenging divorce, you know what? I get to be a role model for them. And when you meet women that are over 60 and they're struggling in life, you get to be a role model for them. And that's why being in community is so important, because we get to inspire each other.
Very good. Totally agree. How have all these endeavors that you're involved in and that you've created, how has that affected your personal life? I guess, how do you get the balance that you need?
You make me laugh because I'm single and I have a date tonight and hopefully it will go well. Here's the thing. I am such a different person. I am so much more confident. And when I say that, what I mean is I know that I have massive value to bring. I know that I'm lovable. I know that I'm worthy of my dreams and my goals, and I'm worthy of being well treated, and I'm worthy of only good people and good experiences in my life. And one of the things that happens when you have your own business is sometimes you have to stand up for your business. That's the thing is, though, when you're the entrepreneur, you're also standing up for yourself.
Mhm.
Your business is your path to personal growth and transformation. Your business will require you to build your self-esteem, to amplify your voice, to build that confidence. Otherwise, you're not going to stay in business.
True.
So it's affected my life in so many ways.
What if I said three, you
Yeah.
can do however many you want, but what are three takeaways that you would have liked people that are listening or people that are
Yeah.
watching to really have gotten out of this interview?
One, Nan, is to act when you are willing. Don't wait till you're ready. Okay. Ready is a myth. It is a myth. We're never ready. Okay.
True.
I said, hey, let's go surfing. Well, how are you going to get ready to surf? You're going to surf. That's how you're going to get ready to surf. Okay. It's in the doing that we figure it out. Right. All right. Surfing is something I've never done, but would like to do. But that's the thing, though, is that ready is absolutely a myth. The next thing is that it does require action to create what we want for ourselves in our lives. But the third thing is it's way more fun and easier and better when we do it in community. And this idea of we're supposed to do it by ourselves is ridiculous, especially for women. And if you don't know of a community of women that are up to what you want to be up to, start a community of women, whatever it is that you want to. Like right now, I'm looking for gals that speak Italian to get together on Zoom and have a blah, blah, blah in Italian session. Why? I got to start my own group because I don't know about one. Okay. That's what you do. And how do you do that? You be loud and proud about it. You tell people what you're looking for, and they will help you find what you need.
Well, it's just been so much fun to talk with you, Caterina.
Thank you.
I mean it when I say you're just a dynamo, a creative dynamo. And it's what's better. That to me, that's the highest compliment of all. But who cares about people who's making a difference in lives as well? And what's more important than that?
I don't know. But the truth is I win because I get to see the results. I feel good. And, knowing that you have impact is a really wonderful thing. And that's what happens when you make a goal or a dream and you pursue it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I think people will get a lot out of all of the beautiful, wonderful things that you've said and your own heart.
Thank you, Nan.